Getting into the gripes about the movie though, because it's DC, right? So DC does not have everything set up. So there's a lot that they just ask you to go with. Like, hey, you never heard about this before in any of the other DC films, but just go with it. For example, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Home Views. Today we're doing a spoiler review for Black Adam. I was able to check it out in theaters. I don't want to give you my immediate thoughts, but know that this is a spoiler review and we will be talking about the movie. So if you haven't seen it, go and check it out and come back and check out this video. And be sure to leave us some comments letting us know, what did you think about Black Adam? I feel like it was pretty good. It was a pretty good movie. On my scale, I give it a 6.8 out of 10. You can check the breakdown of the numbers in the description as to how I came up with my total. But let's go talking about Black Adam. First thing I want to do is talk about my favorite characters. I want to kind of list them in order from watching the film. You would imagine a film starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the lead character. He's going to be your favorite. He is not. Dr. Fate is my favorite character from this movie. The way he was portrayed, Pierce Brosnan in that role, everything went right with his entrance and his ultimate exit in the film. He is the best person, best actor, best character on screen in this. After that, it would have to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's Black Adam. After that, it would be Hawkman, and then everybody else is disposable after that. The Rock's performance felt really hammy throughout the movie, so that's another reason why I picked Dr. Fate as my favorite. I liked his portrayal. I just liked everything about Dr. Fate. Black Adam wasn't bad, but liked Dr. Fate more. About Atom Smasher and Cyclone, I do like their introductions into the movie. It's kind of done in that briefing style. You have Amanda Waller on screen. You have Hawkman, who's the leader of the team, and he's like running down who they are and where they come from. That was really cool. I like their introductions. The thing I have about their characters though is that they really didn't have much to do. They really didn't move the story along at all. They were there to plant the seeds about a greater universe that existed outside of Kahndaq and the story that we got with Kahndaq and Black Adam here. So it's cool. I like their introduction. I like the characters. It's just they didn't have that much to do throughout the movie. Story-wise, it's simple enough. They're telling you the origin of Black Adam along with how does that character come to exist in the DC universe as we know it today. So that stuff was pretty cool. I did like the fact that they had a good little twist in there, because when you watch the beginning of the film, they kind of foreshadowed that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is the little kid's dad. But then as the story plays out, you see he gets the Shazam powers, the kid does, but it looks like The Rock. And the thing about that I found to be very cool was that there was a twist. It wasn't just the fact that it was a kid that when he transformed into the man body, he looked like his dad. No, it was actually the kid had the powers. He had his own personality, his own look, but he transferred the powers to his father to save his father's life, and his father misused the powers. The statues and all the things that you see were not of this champion, but it was the son who actually did all those things, and his father who kind of took the power and used that, the rage that he felt after losing his son and losing his wife. Like that rage overtook him, and he kind of soiled the name of Teth Adam, or Black Adam as we come to know him throughout the movie. I enjoyed that piece. I enjoyed that twist element to it at the end. I thought it was pretty cool. Pretty little cool dynamic as far as how they wanted to tell the story of his origin and like muddy the waters at first and then clean it up at the end. It was nice enough. Getting into the gripes about the movie though, because it's DC, right? So DC does not have everything set up. So there's a lot that they just ask you to go with. Like, hey, you never heard about this before in any of the other DC films, but just go with it. For example, Eternium, like what is that? We've never heard of that before. Intergang, who are they? Where do they come from? How are they a thing that can occupy an entire country? And there's no Superman, there's nobody there to step up and do something, although we know those characters exist in this world. Hawkman is Thanagarian in the comics, and based on the dialogue where he says I'm not afraid of death, it implies that he's gonna be the same character as he is in the comics. Like he dies and he's reincarnated. So what are we talking about? Nobody's gonna tell us where he comes from. That's just a thing you want us to accept. Along with Hawkman, there's Nth Metal. Now, I know Nth Metal from the comics, but the audience may not know that. As well as There's enough nth metal to build a whole ship down to the screws, the line said. It's like, yeah, I guess I'll go with that. Dr. Fate has been alive for 100 years. We've had multiple calamities in this universe, and Dr. Fate has been present for all of it. And I'm like, just go with it, huh? Okay. And it's like that throughout. There's multiple things that as you watch them, you think, man, there's a lot that you want me to just accept. Cyclone has a line about being kidnapped and injected with some type of nanobites when she was 15 years old. And it's like, let's just go with it. Atom Smasher talks to his uncle on the phone, and it's like he has a suit. What? Why do we never hear about the uncle? Just go with it. The only other thing I can think of, just shifting to my last point, is, the movie was ultimately a pretty good movie. It's not world ending. It's not the best or most fun movie that I've seen this year, but it was a pretty good entry into the DC universe. The one thing that's really starting to stand out though is that these comics riffed on one another. Like, they have been stealing from one another for so long. And at this point, it's really, really apparent when you watch a film on some of these characters. Let's just go through some of the things that I quickly noticed. This is very similar to that. Dr. Fate gave me very strong Doctor Strange vibes. Is the hand motions. Doctor Strange has the mirror universe. Dr. Fate has his illusions that look very similar visually to the mirror universe. It's weird. Shout out to Hawkman, because Hawkman, if you watch the screen very closely, he's based in Louisiana. I'm in Louisiana. But when his mansion has the courtyard open up and the planes come out, I get strong X-Men vibes. Very strong X-Men vibes. The movie opens up with Eternium, and that's a rare metal that's used for something. Vibranium in Wakanda is a rare metal that's used for everything. And I can keep going. Kahndaq itself is an ancient, powerful kingdom long before anyone else. Wakanda is an ancient kingdom that is more powerful than everyone else because of this certain mineral they have. Vibranium, just like Eternium in Kahndaq. Like, well, I guess. Atom Smasher grows, Ant-Man grows. Atom Smasher is a new guy who's also a fan of the heroes, who's also very goofy, who also gets his suit from an OG version of himself, So Atom Smasher gets the suit from his uncle. Ant-Man is a new guy, but also a fan of the heroes and things like that. And he's goofy and he makes jokes. He gets the suit from an OG version of himself. Hank Pym, we get Scott Lang. And it's like, stop me if you heard these things before. It feels like that as you're watching it. It's not bad, but it does feel like that. And again, I know the comics are the original thieves, Darkseid and Thanos were riffs of one another. I forget which one came first, but I do know that whichever one came later is a direct correlation to the other one. Deadpool is a riff on or a parody of Deathstroke. Deathstroke came out as a Teen Titans villains in the 80s. Deadpool came out as just this wacky character that's modeled very similarly in the 90s. So I know that stuff happens, but it's really, really, really on the nose here. You see it and you feel it if you are entrenched enough in the comic book movie world. And those are pretty much all the thoughts, y'all. I think I gave all the things that I would like to say about the movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It's not the best movie of the year, but it is a very cool entry. The Henry Cavill post-credit scene was pretty cool. It's not, earth-shattering or anything else. It's just to further along and establish the idea that Black Adam is present and he's probably the biggest threat to the Justice League or basically the Justice Society or anybody else you want to have present in the DC universe. So again, it was cool to see. Glad that they brought Henry Cavill back. Glad to hear that they're gonna, do a Man of Steel 2 finally after all these years. But hey, let me know what you thought about it. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was pretty cool. Not the best, but still pretty cool. Let me know your thoughts, y'all. Enjoy yourself. Guard your heart. Go watch something.